All right, now that we've got our list of the Reddit moderators, we're going to first export this into a CSV. I've already done that. To do that, you just click this download button, go to CSV on the drop down, and then save it as the file name that you'd like. What we're trying to do here is test out the assumption that we could start to submit different pieces of content, blogs, links, whatever it is, to the sites that the Reddit moderators are visiting and submitting into Reddit. So in order to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to focus on a particular subreddit rather than running all of these through at the same time. We'd want to focus on the ones that we'd like to get our content in. So we're going to pretend that our company is, writing content for Game of Thrones. So what I did here is I highlighted all of the moderators that the source was Game of Thrones as a subreddit, and I copied those URLs, and we're going to use them here in a second. But what we want to do is go through and find out exactly what kinds of links these folks are sharing. So let's get to it. So what we're going to do now is essentially create our third crawler for Reddit. And we're going to do that. Actually, let's just do this. We're going to copy that first name, go to that specific user in Reddit. While that page is loading, I'm going to click on crawler here, and then we're going to head over to submitted and click I'm there. Alright, select multiple, and then let import do its work. The information we want is still there, which is great. Alright, now let's start training rows. Let's see here. Now it wasn't automatically selecting, so I'm just highlighting with my mouse over top of those, and looks like it got trained up pretty well there. Now let's add some columns. So let's get the submitted link. Just right there. Perfect. Then let's grab the comments. And I think what you can do with the comments is to check to see which of their posts are getting the most comments. I think it's likely that they'll continue to share similar posts. It's just all part of the kind of the reverse engineering here mindset to figure out what kind of posts they might want to share, and then also what kind of posts they'll share again to increase the likelihood that your content will get shared into the subreddit. And then let's also check out what the subreddit is here, because it looks like you can also see other subreddits that they're posting to. And honestly, this can be pretty helpful as well, just to see if you can get one of these moderators to start influencing across the board for you. Great. And honestly, that's probably enough in terms of what you want to make sure to get out of this, but I'm going to do one more thing. And I'm just going to grab this this little link preview here as link text, so that when we're looking through the data when we have it stored, it's really easy to see what domains we're grabbing this from, because over here this is a link, but it's actually hyperlinked, so we won't be able to see up front exactly which domain it's linking to unless we have our mouse hovering over it. So that looks like what we need here. And let's add another page. And we can kind of see the same naming structure at play here that we saw for the subreddit list. Alright, click through those. Looks like it's not having any issues at all keeping up. So click this and then start loading up this next page. We're going to be through these 5 training pages pretty quickly here. And I'm really baffled right now to read this headline. I can't believe somebody'd write Independence Day 2 without Will Smith. That's a travesty, really. Alright, flying through this. Import actually just launched or made an update to the app, and it's much faster. It's a very big improvement for them, so kudos to those folks. Just one more here, and then we'll be off to the races. There we go. And now we're done training. Call it Reddit moderator submissions. Now let's flip back over to the spreadsheet here so that we can grab all the links that we need. Catenate. Okay, yep. Username / submitted. So we just want all of these links here. Copy those, and let's jump over to the crawler. Flip over to advanced. Again, I always prefer to do it in advanced mode just so I have the ability to kind of tell the crawler exactly what I want it to do. So one thing that's good to check here is because we're going to be having it crawl over tons of different different users, what we can do is put some better templates in place. So instead of having it be that specific user as to where it can extract data from, we'll do any right here. And through and put all these guys in here. Give it the place to crawl, and then where it can extract data from. I do want to play it safe here and do another line just for this, because we should be extracting data on that page as well as the query string pages. So what you could do if you only wanted a certain amount of depth on the pages that it was going to crawl, it started off with this URL right here, and then it went down to question mark count 25, etc. And then it went 50, then it went 75, then it went 100. So you could actually define and give it some limitations that way if you wanted to. So we're not really going to do that or worried about that right now, but we'll fire this off here in a second. One last kind of new feature that they've launched in this most recent update is you can actually save immediately. So I'm going to save this CSV as soon as it's done running, which just saves us the step of having to go back into the app to grab the data. And there it goes. So it's already got 100 pages queued up. And it's going to go for a little while. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video and bring you guys back in here in a little bit. Thanks. All right, so this is great. I actually stopped it because it was without constraints. It was going to keep going for a very, very long time. So what I decided to do was to stop real quick so that we can take a look at the data and just think about how we might analyze the data. Now, if I were to go back and do this again for like with a very specific effort, I would definitely think about giving even more constraints to the crawler so that it stays within the realms that I want it to. But we did get a lot of really great stuff here. So we can actually still focus on very specific users. As you can see here, it's segmented by user pretty easily. We can look at their submitted links and also what subreddit they submitted it to, and then we can also look at the link text to see where the link actually came from. So you can do some pretty interesting things to see where folks are hanging out, where folks are grabbing their links from, and how you might be able to better influence their judgment and get them to share something into Reddit. So yeah, then there's other things you might be able to do here as well. You could sort by comments to try and get the posts to the top that have the most comments, and then try to influence that user specifically. So yeah, so that kind of ends this first session on Reddit. We basically went through and did kind of 3 layers of crawlers with a limited intensity, though you could go pretty big on Reddit and do a lot of different interesting data analysis. So hopefully somebody in the community, in the audience, decides to do that, because it'd be really interesting to see, just globally across Reddit, what are the most shared domains and shared links, etc. So anyway, we started off by crawling all the subreddits. Then we crawled for the moderators of those subreddits. We got a list of the moderators, and now we're getting a list of the sites that the moderators are submitting. So that's how you scrape Reddit and figure out where you need to post your content so that they'll share it into Reddit. Thanks.